argument and he started physically attacking her. Lena, in desperation, reached for a knife that was in the kitchen sink. She wanted to scare Mark off, protect herself and her 2 young children. Defiantly, he lunged at her and the knife pierced his chest by 14 millimetres. But as tiny as that was, it was enough to kill him. Tonight, we take you back to that awful evening and its chaotic aftermath to see why, in the eyes of the law, Lena went from a victim to a perpetrator and what she had to do to beat a murder charge. 14 millimetres is minuscule, a tiny tip, a mere 1.4 centimetres that will haunt Lena Kasparian for life. The pathologist says it went in about 14 millimetres, which is about that.
A little cut, there was no blood or anything. 14 millimetres, I mean, that's a tiny cut.
Impossibly tiny for the damage it caused, the death of her partner, Mark Zatarian. And for Lena, a charge of murder with the prospect of life in jail. In a split second, one life is taken, another ruined, as Lena is branded a calculated killer.
You can stab your partner and don't be arrested. You can be free. This is what Australian law is.
Tonight we hear as the horror of May the 1st, 2011 unfolded. First, Lena's call to 000.
I stabbed you in the chest with a knife.
Okay, you stabbed in 60 Ambrose. You have stabbed your boyfriend in the chest.
Her police interview.
He doesn't die, please God. I don't want his death on my hands. Please God. Oh my God, if he dies, I'll just go and rot in jail.
And the little girl who saw it all.
And how did you feel when you saw all this? Sad.
It was a night no one planned, where no one could imagine the outcome or the ramifications.
We're used to seeing women bashed badly, sometimes dying. In this case, it's the man on the floor dying and the woman who's held the knife.
In the eyes of the law, Lena is the attacker. But to this former Supreme Court judge, it's not that simple. He now questions why she faced court at all.
It was a prosecution case that was essentially hopeless from the start.
1, 2, 3.
Lena Kasparian is in her element today.
Okay.
Are you going to be able to get the shot if I...
At the photo shoot for her new After 5 range, this strong, independent fashion designer feels a sense of achievement.
Act natural and put on the jacket.
But it's taken years and a lot of heartache to get here.
Serious.
It does hurt when people say nasty things about you and call you a murderer when you know you're not. And, you know, when someone you love dies and you're blamed for it.
To outsiders, Lena and Mark made a happy, loving couple. But in truth, after 10 months together, the relationship was falling apart, with Mark drinking too much and taking drugs.
It got to a point where I told him, he needed to leave because I didn't want my kids to be around that. And, you know, he'd cry and he's like, I have no one else. You're the only one I trust. You're the only one I have. And I felt sorry for him.
Was it a volatile relationship?
There was a lot of arguments and he'd, you know, yell at me and swear at me. But
it doesn't sound like you were submissive either in that relationship.
No, I mean, I'd tell him off, why were you drinking today? Why did you lie to me? You know, you promised you're not going to drink anymore.
No one could know it, but Sunday, May the 1st, 2011 would provide the trigger for a random act of violence that would end with a most tragic result. Again, Mark was drunk, and Lena had had enough, so decided to head home from a family party early.
I knew he was going to be out of control and he was going to embarrass me and humiliate me.
What was the drive home like?
Horrible. It was just intense. He was out of control.
Security footage from a drive-through captures the family as they pick up dinner. Lena then heads home, focused on getting her 2 children inside the house and keeping Mark out.
I told Mark to stay outside to cool off, and he kept yelling and hurling abuse and trying to kick the door in and running into the door and making a racket.
At that point, did you feel in danger?
I was more concerned with the neighbours. I was embarrassed. They're going to hear him now, and I better let him in because he's not going to stop.
And that's when Lena made the biggest mistake of her life. She opened the door to Mark. It's a decision Lena regrets to this day.
I remember the look on his face. It wasn't him anymore. And I went into the kitchen to say, are you all right? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you behaving like this? And he just slapped me, and that's where it all started.
Have he ever hit you before?
No. He's pushed me around before, but he's never actually physically slapped me like that.
So what did you do in response?
I was at that point telling him, you need to leave. I can't deal with you anymore. And that's when he picked up the saucepan.
It was to be a new level of aggression. As Mark grabbed the saucepan from the sink, Lena's 3-year-old son and 5-year-old daughter heard the arguing and came running in to their mum. So tell me what Mark did with the saucepan.
Striking me over my head in full force. And I remember just trying to block him and at the same time push my son away. And my ears started ringing, so the sound just went.
This crime scene photo of the damaged and misshapen saucepan shows just how ferociously Mark attacked her.
I'll never forget my kids screaming, having my son wrapped around my leg, screaming and crying, and my daughter trying to protect me, kicking Mark from behind, telling him, leave my mummy alone.
Coming up,
I just held it up to my chest and I said, stay away from me.
pushed to the brink. Was he aware of the knife, do you think?
Yeah, just kept saying, all right, stab me, do it, go on, stab me.
When self-defense is no excuse.
I was like, oh my God, what just happened? And I saw the tip of the knife had a little bit of blood on it. And I was like, okay, I need to call an ambulance.
That's next on 60 Minutes. Hello, I'm
I don't think Mark would ever want me to go to jail for something like that.
When Lena Kasparian was acquitted of Mark Zatarian's murder in September 2012, the reaction was instant and emotional. Outside court, Mark's mother collapsed.
You can stab your partner.
His aunt was furious.
Don't be arrested. You can be free. This is what Australian law is.
I feel sorry for his mum, you know. I lost a man I love, but she lost her son. And I get that, and I feel her pain and her anger towards me, but you know, it's not easy. It's not an easy situation.
First tonight, is she a victim or a killer?
And in the wider community, during and after her trial, Lena seemed to engender more anger than sympathy. For many, it didn't seem to be the right outcome. The family obviously was very hurt and very angry, but the media too painted you in a certain way.
Yeah.
That suggested you'd got away with murder. The Black Widow.
Yeah.
Why do you think you were painted in that way?
I don't know. Am I
fact
supposed to wail and cry like a crazy person to make people feel sorry for me? I'm not going to behave in a manner that I don't normally, and I'm not going to be someone I'm not just to prove a point.
I think that actually they probably are not exposed very much to a situation where it's the man on the floor and not the woman. So this is the brief of evidence, Lena.
Jackie Lane is helping Lena publish a book on her hellish experience. She believes Lena suffered in the public eye because of her resilience, because she never crumbled. Do you think it's that strength that has polarised the wider community?
Absolutely. She doesn't fit the mould of a bashed up woman in a domestic violence situation. So I don't think people know how to cope with that. I don't think the police know, the media knows generally, and also just people in the community.
Watch them come now. Look at them come.
In the 7 years since Mark Zatarian died, Lena has tried to move forward not only for herself, but for her 2 children who have, it seems, forgotten that terrible night. What do you hope to achieve by writing your book?
I want to be able to, show my children, that things happen in life that you can't explain and you just have to soldier on and make the best of it. It's given me some inner peace writing that book. It's helped me a lot.
Why do you think that is?
Oh, it's just to be able to release some of the emotions and work through them and, makes you stronger. I guess it's made me stronger.
And it's only now that Lena has found the strength to listen to her 5-year-old daughter's police interview, done the day after she saw her mum being attacked. Are you feeling strong enough to do it now?
Oh, no, we'll have to see. Let's see how we go.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
What did he do?
He got a pen and he hit her head twice.
Okay. And where was Mum when this boy did this to Mum?
At home.
Was it in the lounge room, in the bedroom, or somewhere else?
In the kitchen.
In the kitchen. And what did Mum do when this boy hit your mum over the head with the pan twice?
My mum got a knife.
Yeah? And what did your mum do with the knife?
She cut him because he hit him on the head.
Okay. So how did...
Police followed correct protocol in interviewing a child witness, but that doesn't make it any easier for Lena to listen to.
I saw him hit her over her head.
What did you do when Mark did that?
I smacked him.
How did you smack him?
By hitting him in my head.
Okay, and where did you hit him?
On the back.
She was kicking him, telling him leave Mummy alone.
No. What's upsetting you most about this?
And how are you feeling?
Well, the fact that they're interviewing a 5-year-old innocent child who's confused, scared, hasn't seen her mum, doesn't know where Mum is, and they're trying to make her remember something she probably doesn't want to remember.
Yeah, as painful as that must be to listen to and as painful as it must have been on the day, her story backs up everything you say.
Yeah, because it's the truth. There's nothing more to it, My children were there. They witnessed this beast attack me, and all I was trying to do was protect them. I mean, she just said it, she was hitting him. And, you know, thank God every day nothing happened to them. But on the other side, yeah, like that, and look towards the camera, and just sort of play with the skirt, just give it a bit of a twist.
A flourishing career and 2 beautiful children gives Lena much to be happy about. But 7 years on, she keenly knows still how fragile happiness can be. How one moment, in one night, can change life for all time.
I think I'm doing okay. You just sort of learn to let go and move on and focus on the important things in life. And
how long has that taken, just to get on with your life?
7 years. It's taken a long time. I mean, it's still raw. I still think about it, and, you know, I still have my cry here and there, but, you know, I've lost so much sleep, tossing and turning, you know, what ifs, all the what ifs. But I just have to accept what's happened and forgive him and forgive myself and let go and be able to move on, because it's going to drive me crazy if I don't.